Hi everyone and welcome. You are watching the Sky Stage Virtual Comedy Night for May 2020 and today is May 22nd, 2020. Everyone, I'm Stacey Axler, and if you have been to a Sky Stage Comedy Under the Stars comedy night in the past 3 years, you have seen me there because typically I host these in-person events. Due to the situation that's happening with this global health crisis, we are bringing the comedy to you virtually so you can enjoy it from the comfort of your own home. I know that myself, all of the comedians, and the entire Sky Stage team cannot wait to physically get back to Sky Stage once it's safe to do so, to continue to entertain you in the heart of downtown Frederick. But for tonight, I'm very excited to be virtually doing this show because I'm joined by several wonderful comedians that I know you'll really enjoy. Kicking us off first, I'm very excited to introduce this comedian. Please make some noise for the very funny Sai D, everyone.
Thank you, yeah. Anyways, my name is Sai D. My name is Sai D. The D stands for the rest of my name is way too long. I'm just kidding, guys. The D stands for delicious. Yes, ma'am, that's Sai Delicious, yes. Yes. I know what most of you are thinking right now, except this front table here, but I know what most of you are thinking. Stacey's in the house. Yeah, please, after the show. But I know what most of you are thinking. It's okay, don't be ashamed, because you're absolutely right. I do work in IT. IT stands for Indian Tandoori. It's the name of the Indian-inspired falafel shop I work in. So I guess what I'm saying is, ma'am, if at any point of time, if you're ever in the mood for some flavorful brown balls, just call me. Right? You won't be disappointed because the D stands for delicious. Delicious falafel, guys. Come on. Anyways, guys, I got married recently. Thank you. I'm Indian. I think we covered that. My wife happens to be Chinese, real kind of Asian. So I guess we can't wait to have Filipino kids. If that's how genetics works. I just hope my kids can cook because I love me some Filipino chicken adobo, right? I love all kinds of Southeast Asian food. Except pho, because I'm a member of the anti-pho. Told you I'm woke. Yeah. But I mean, marriage is hard. I know from my parents' marriage that marriage is hard. My dad always used to tell me, you know, Sai, there's only one true emotion in a long-lasting relationship. I know most of you here think it's love, but he said no. Love is just a passive-aggressive manifestation of deep-seated anger. And there's levels to this shit. Listen up, there's levels to it. There's 3 levels of rage in a long-lasting relationship. At the first level, you take mild offense to what your partner says. That's called taking umbrage. It's a British word, you say umbrage. The second level is when you get mad at what your partner says. That's called being outraged. Now after umbrage and outrage comes the point of no return. That's called marriage. But yeah, I don't know. Marriage is hard.
All right, I hope you like that. Up next, this performer is someone you would have been watching live if we were able to do a live show. And I was very excited to be able to get a video from him to show you all tonight for our virtual show. Everyone, please make some noise for John Cromartie.
Hey, everybody. Let's hear it one more time for our amazing host, one of my favorite people, Stacey Axler. Thank you, Stacey, for hosting this. Thank you to Sky Stage for sponsoring this event. I'm really sad that we're not there at Sky Stage, but I'm glad that we could be here. This was going to be my first real show, but here I'm making my virtual comedy debut. Merriam-Webster defines virtual as being such in essence or in effect, but not formally recognized or admitted, which accurately describes my comedy. Oh, by the way, since we don't have a real audience here, I've got a virtual audience here. I was making my tea the other morning, and the box said, "Enjoy your tea as nature intended it," which I thought was interesting. If nature planned on having some overambitious apes evolve in Africa and travel 6,000 miles to get addicted to the pesticides in a bush growing in the northeastern region of Burma, color me impressed. That is some excellent planning, really long-term thinking there. Nerd! Nature was really thinking ahead. I appreciate it looking out for me.
Be funny.
So I don't want to get political,
Here we go.
but I think a lot of Trump supporters might just hate watch a live stream of my life. It's Saturday morning. I get up, I take my chihuahua and walk it to my girlfriend's house where I make a kale and tofu scramble. And we discuss that thing we both saw in the New York Times. Yeah, that was great, wasn't it? Yeah, it was great. And then we do some yoga together. We go outside. I oil up the hand-powered lawnmower with organic coconut oil. And I watch my girlfriend mow the grass because, you know what? She's a strong woman and I don't have anything to prove. But, you know, she tags out after a while, which is fine. And I take over. But you know what? Honestly, I'm tagging out soon too because my elbows are bigger than my biceps. That's where I'm at.
Be funny.
All right, everybody, what do you think? Why don't you come up here and tell the jokes, okay? All right, come on up. What's your name, bro?
John Cromartie rhymes with we gonna party.
All right, everybody, give it up for John Cromartie. Okay, so I thought of this the other day. It's harder than I thought. Okay, so I was thinking about birthdays, and I think that your first birthday and your last birthday are kind of the same because you're just kind of sitting there like in a chair, and like you think like, who are these people? And like they all have to feed you your own cake, right? Like, get it? Like.
That's a Seinfeld bit.
What? You think I stole a joke from Seinfeld and I'm gonna do it? You think I don't know?
How much Seinfeld have you seen?
Like every episode. Of course, I've seen every episode of Seinfeld.
Season 5, episode 19, The Fire.
Oh yeah, the one where George yells fire at the kid's birthday party and he runs out. That's like my favorite episode.
Yeah, that one.
I guess I did see it.
You suck.
You suck.
Hey, security. Get him out of here.
Hey, don't touch me.
All right, come on.
All right, everybody, I'm sorry about that. I hope we all had a good time here anyway. I'm John Cromartie. I hope you've had a great time, and I'll give it back to Stacey. Thanks, everyone.
Everyone, I'm Stacey Axler, and I'm very excited to be doing some virtual comedy for you all. I can't wait to get back to Frederick once we're able to do so and put on a live comedy show. But in the meantime, this is a very nice substitute. Something I've been thinking a lot about lately is, you know how a lot of stores are closing, like Payless Shoes closed, Sears is closed. One that really hit me hard when I heard that it was closing was Party City. Party City was such a staple in my life, and it was hard to think about that store closing. But then I really got to think about it, and I thought, am I part of the problem? Like, am I part of the reason why Party City closed? I never went to Party City to ever plan for a party. It wasn't that the point of Party City. I always went there to kill time before going into a movie theater, or I stopped in to buy candy. I never got any of their party supplies. So I don't know if I'm alone in this, but if I'm not, think about it. Think about it. All throughout my life, or not all throughout it, but since I was about 16 or so, a lot of people have asked me why I don't drive. And I would like to say, I can drive. I do have a license, but I choose not to. And a lot of people really think that I should drive. Here's the thing, though. I've seen people in cars all throughout my life. I've, been a passenger in cars. And I've got to say, it looks so intense, People are blaring their horns. They have serious road rage problems. They'll sometimes roll down their window, shout out of it. There's accidents, people hit other people's cars, and all of this is just in the grocery store parking lot. I mean, this isn't even in any other situation, like on a highway. That's just within a grocery store parking lot. But in my opinion, I truly think that if you want to dissuade someone from ever driving, have them drive even, 5 minutes in a grocery store parking lot, because that will teach you the joys of, taking public transportation and walking, which is what I like to do. The grocery store's parking lots are always a mess. People are fighting over spaces. Everyone's in a terrible mood. But for me, I think things were always bad in the grocery store parking lot. And then they got even worse when they installed those cart return stations in the parking lot around 1998. I remember when those things came in. Everything just started to get worse when that happened. You'd be in the grocery store, you'd look outside, there'd be a phantom shopping cart rolling through the parking lot. People would just be looking at it. They'd be like, whose cart is that? Where did this come from? Like, hello, people, it's not a ghost. Someone didn't return their cart properly. It's rolling through the parking lot. It's causing more accidents than the cars. Anyway, that's kind of why I avoid driving, to be honest. Something I've been thinking about a lot is, how we're told all throughout our lives that, we've evolved from cavemen and cave people. Basically, it's a very simplistic way of teaching young people and children in schools how, look, this is how we evolved. We started as this species, and now we've advanced to where we are now. Look at what we can do. We build computers now and phones. We've evolved. A big point in the whole story of our evolution is how our ancestors faced like a turning point when they made fire. And we're told that we're, advanced beyond that. And my question is, have we really? I mean, can you make a fire? Because I'm going to tell you, I can't. Like, if I had to go out into the wilderness right now and make a fire, I wouldn't know what to do. I know in theory what to do. You get branches from a tree, leaves, dry wood, you get it together. Hopefully someone has a magnifying glass or a fire starter. But if you don't have those things, I mean, I know it's harder than just rubbing the two sticks together. I know that because I tried to create like fires every day at recess when I was in elementary school. It's not just about rubbing the two sticks together. So have we advanced so far beyond our ancestors? Yes, we can make a computer. I can't, but we as a population can. But can most people start a fire? That's what I really want them to teach in school, how to balance a checkbook and start fires. I think you could get much farther learning that than learning so much of the stuff that I learned about in school, like cursive. I can't even tell you the last time I've actually used cursive. At this point, I can barely sign my name. Most of it's just me holding a pen going like this. Squiggles. My cursive is squiggles, which is a type of art that preschool children do, where they take a crayon and they go like this. Going back to this technology and evolving type of thing, I do want to hit on this one other point. I was talking about this earlier, and I do want to say, a lot of people really, we're definitely a generation that we're very fortunate to have a lot of tech and science and readily accessible technology at our disposal. We all have smartphones, which are basically little computers we keep with us that we can access directions on it. We can get Ubers to go places. I mean, this is some really good technology. But the thing about all of that is, I appreciate all that technology, and boy, do I use it. I use it quite a bit. But what I would love to see in my lifetime, along with all these technological advancements, but what I would love to see within my lifetime is a garbage disposal that doesn't sound like you're killing a demon on the side. I would love someone to invest in that technology. We have silent vacuums now. Where's my silent garbage disposal? I hate whenever I turn on the garbage disposal, I feel like I have to apologize to someone. I'm just always like, I'm sorry. Garbage disposal. So loud. And it literally sounds like the depths of hell is coming from your garbage disposal. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. I have been Stacey Axler, and there are more comics to come, so keep watching this video. Up next, we have the stand-up comedian and improviser, Eileen Hailey. Please welcome Eileen to the stage.
A lot of people ask me, where do I come from? And I just tell them, I come from a small island kingdom right off the coast of Manhattan. Yeah, you might know it as Staten Island, New York. It's home of many famous people like Peter Davidson from Saturday Night Live, and it's the setting for The Purge. It's even the home of the Wu-Tang Clan. Let's hear it for Ghostface Killer. The beaches on Staten Island, although it's surrounded by water, they suck. So in order to go for a swim in the ocean, we have to hightail it over some bridge to New Jersey. And I got a big problem with that. And the problem is in 2 words. You probably already guessed it, New Jersey. So when I was given an opportunity to go to Florida on my vacation, oh my goodness, I jumped on it. I mean, Florida, the Sunshine State, where all the rich folks go, very posh. But you know what? Nobody ever told me you don't go to Florida in July. Because in July, Florida is hotter than Stugatz. I mean, we wondered, why were the airfares so low? And why were the accommodations so cheap? When we asked the concierge for extra coffee because he only gave us 2 friggin' pods, he said, if he gave us extra coffee, he's gonna have to give it to all the other guests. And we were like, Stunad, what other guests are you even talking about? We did get the extra coffee. You don't mess with Staten Island. But let me tell you, Florida, friggin' Florida, you had to mess with us, didn't you? Yeah, I'm talking now about the great Florida ptomaine poisoning incident that was sustained by my unsuspecting husband, Mike. I mean, he ate some food on that boardwalk that gave him more than agita. It sent us straight to urgent care, then off to Walgreens, where he got Cipro and I got Glade. enchantment, room freshener. I mean, let me say, I don't like scatological humor, but I really did need that enchantment #1. On the label it said, feel the magic. But let me tell you, there was no magic to be felt. Unless you want to talk about hallucinations as a form of magic. Because Mike started hallucinating. He was so dehydrated. He said that he saw faces of cats on the ceiling over the bed. Just their faces, no body. And that the cats were spitting at him. I said, the cats are spitting at you? What are they spitting? Oh, he said, olive pits, goobers, malted milk balls. I'm like, oh my God, you poor guy. Well, in a few minutes though, a couple of days I should say, it seemed like hours and years, he felt a little bit better, so we hightailed it to the beach. Yay, right? No. Let me tell you, that was the year of the red tide. And if you don't know what the red tide is, it's a gargantuan, let me say it again, gargantuan bloom of red seaweed that hit the coast. So that swimming in the ocean consisted of just trying to not to get tangled up in this red seaweed around your neck, your arms, your torso, your legs, everything. You're trying not to drown. So, come to think of it, it reminded me a lot of the red cabbage that my mother used to serve us as kids. Every Sunday, red cabbage and pot roast. The pot roast is this amorphous glob of meat with veins of fat running through it. It's disgusting. And you know what? I am a vegetarian now. But come to think of it, down in Florida, trying not to drown in that cabbagey water, I realize now, I was the pot roast. Friggin' Florida vacation. That's my time. I'm Eileen Hailey.
Everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. Up next is someone I'm very excited to introduce. Please make some noise for the always very funny Noah Goldstein, everyone.
How we doing, Frederick? It's good to be. Hey, don't start heckling me, okay? Yeah, okay, I get it. I look like an unemployed mime, alright? Oh, okay, very funny. My beard doesn't connect. Sure, mutton chops haven't been cool since the 1970s. Can we get settled down over there so I can start the show? Okay, thank you. I wish I could have been with you tonight. It's a bummer. I'm just counting down the days till we're all together in stand-up comedy parlors all over the area. I don't think anyone calls them that, but I think they should. I love the word parlor. It makes everything sound so classy, right? Like ice cream parlor, tattoo parlor, even like funeral parlor sounds like a cool place to hang out, but not massage parlor. You can't make massage parlor sound classy. I don't think you can make a place that sells massages sound classy, regardless of how hard you try, right? Like massage palace, massage emporium, massage playground. You just can't do it. I wish I could be in Frederick. Really, I wish I could be anywhere. During the pandemic, I don't drive. I haven't been taking public transit. I haven't left like a 3-mile radius for the last 3 months. I'd love to travel. Maybe not Europe though. I think Europe's a little bit overrated. Regardless of where you go in Europe, they only have 2 different types of statue. Yeah, it's super unoriginal. Like, it doesn't matter the city you're in. It's either phallic cylinder or arch with man on horse on top of it. Can you imagine what like a planning meeting was like in any of these countries? Like, oh, the king has commissioned a statue to commemorate and commiserate yet another successful crusade of the Holy Land. Any suggestions? And Anders raises his hand. He's like, okay, how about this? How about a phallic cylinder? And the guy's looking at me. He's like, oh, what's a brilliant idea, Anders? Any other ideas? And Nels raises his hand. He's like, or better yet, we build an arch and we put a man with a horse on top of it. It's like, oh, I think you deserve a promotion, Nels. Meanwhile, Hans is in the back. He's like, can we do anything else, guys? Seriously, we've been doing the same thing for like hundreds of years. And it's like, to the guillotine with you, Hans. Off with your head. I think we're going to miss you, Hans. A little too soon. I have been cooking a lot during this pandemic. Cooking is tough, even when you have all this time in your hands, when you have commitment issues. I have commitment issues. There's just like certain dishes you can't make. Like risotto, really? You expect me to commit to stirring for an hour and listening to it talk? Like, sometimes you're too hot, sometimes you're too cold. No, I'm not ready to meet your parents, okay? I don't know. It is kind of a troubling time that we're in. Like, science has all of a sudden become very political. Honestly, I kind of get it. We just, as humans, don't love information that we don't agree with necessarily. Like, we find ways to tune it out. Like, hear me out here for a second. My smoke detector cares more about me than anyone else in this world, right? Like, I don't have any friends who will call me at 3 in the morning to let me know left my tea kettle on. But I never listen to my smoke detector. Like, my house could be in flames, and I'll still grab the broomstick and, like, press that, like, hey, shut up button in the middle of it, okay? And I feel like half of the country, like, when Dr. Fauci comes on TV, they do the same thing. They just grab their broom and they push the, hey, shut up nerd button, you know? I don't know. It's tough. A lot of people, massive numbers of people filing for unemployment. Very sad. There are still job openings there, like very interesting ones. I saw a pretty interesting job posting on Indeed for customer service at the CIA. Like, what would that entail? Like, what kind of calls would you get? Like, hey, I'd like to speak to a manager about a coup you plotted in my country. Yeah, you overthrew our democratically elected president. You probably get calls on the other side too. Like, hey, like my country's nationalized its oil production. Can I talk to someone in the coup department? I don't know. I'll leave on one last joke. This pandemic has been tough for bullies. It's a tough time for bullies. When I was in high school, every Friday, the seniors would throw eggs at the freshmen. On the freshman Friday. They can't do that anymore. Now they have to like order Postmates and the delivery instruction. They say, hey, throw this at freshmen and tell them they're a nerdy dweeb. Okay, thank you very much. I've been Noah Goldstein.
Everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. Up next, I'm very excited to welcome this performer. One cool thing about doing virtual comedy is that I've got people that I'm working with and coordinating with right now who physically don't live in this area. They live elsewhere, and because of the power of technology, we're able to connect all together to do this show. This performer currently lives in England. They are moving to America for work, I believe, but they're still in England right now. And we met through comedy, and I'm very excited to welcome her because I think she's very funny. So please make some noise for Riva Riley, everyone.
Hello, thank you so much for watching. My name is Riva Riley, and I am super foreign. I'm the most foreign person I know, and I've been foreign at every place I've ever been. Now, for the moment, I'm foreign because I am an American living in England. And I can definitively say that being an American in England is like being a puppy at a dinner party for cats. No one knows what to do with your enthusiasm, but they want it to stop. But in all seriousness, I've settled into England pretty well. And I think part of the reason that is because I have so much experience being foreign. I was a foreigner in my mother's womb. Heavy, right? And that's because my mother is a little Indian woman, Gujarati specifically. My father is a great big white guy. Now I can tell what you're all thinking. Which parent do I take after? My parents got married over 40 years ago. That was before interracial marriage was cool, or at least legal, in West Virginia. And their marriage has produced 4 hybrid children. Now, my siblings come in a rainbow of colors. I have a brown sister with reddish hair. I have a tan sister with natural highlights. I have a pale but dark-haired brother. And they're all very beautiful, and they all look appropriately mixed race. And then there's me. I look like a hardy medieval peasant girl who survived many harsh winters. Genetics is a lottery, and I lost. And despite the existence of mirrors and cameras, I didn't realize that I looked like this for a really long time. And that's because my mother made the fascinating decision to raise us as Indian children. She was always pretty derisive about white people. You know, she'd say things like, white people can't handle real spicy food, and white people are bad at math. So imagine my shock when I went to school and no one could tell I was Indian at all. I had a full-on kindergarten crisis when I had to realize, oh my God, am I white? Oh, sweet Ganesh. Now, the reason I invoked Ganesh is because Ganesh is the god of overcoming obstacles. That's one of the many things I learned as the only white kid in Hindu Sunday school. My religious education was pretty complicated, as you might imagine. And one of the most common activities that we did in Hindu Sunday school was put on skits, about the various gods and the legends, and I played a demon in every one. The plot does thicken a bit, though. I recently heard the juiciest bit of Indian gossip. So my Hindu Sunday school teacher had a daughter about my age in our class, and she was the biggest suck-up, kiss-ass, Hinduer-than-thou teacher's pet that you could possibly imagine. And last year, she married a white guy. And I think that if karma is real, my Hindu Sunday school teacher is going to have grandkids that look like this. Well, we can only hope. My mom, as you can imagine, has pretty complicated feelings about the way that I look. My mom wanted a daughter so bad, and I was her first, which is probably why she had two more. She was tired of people thinking she was my nanny. Super dark, right? Like, being a brown-skinned woman in America is and always has been shitty. And my skin, which alienated me from my mother's culture, is the thing that lets me fully belong in the country that feels so foreign to her. I mean, my own foreignness is something I can hide in the West, if I choose to. I am a white-looking person born in America to American parents. Just call me apple pie and toss me a machine gun and I'm good to go. And I've considered it. I could just accept my fate and cash in on some sweet white privilege. But I can't do that. For one, if I don't own who I am, I'm gonna look super racist anytime I tell an Indian joke. And for two, I will not deny my mother, even though so many other things have tried to make us foreign to one another. And it hasn't all been doom and gloom. Like, my mom appreciates the humor of all this. I mean, she's even managed to profit from it. So here's the scene. I was 16 years old. Now, when I was 16, I had the same mass as I do now, but it was arranged differently. I was basically a walking Picasso painting. Adolescence is hard. And I was at this neighborhood party, right? And the neighborhood and the town I grew up in is very white, like very Catholic. So all of the people of color tended to form their own little communities. And my mom always had a very diverse cast of friends, unlike the TV show. So I'm at this party, I'm looking for my mom, and I spot her. She's talking to a friend of hers who happens to be a black woman. So I go up to her, my mom sees me, and her eyes lit up, and I felt really kind of warm and fuzzy inside. And then my mom grabbed me, pulled me over to her friend, and said, Linda, this is my daughter, the one I was telling you about. And Linda took one look at me and started to laugh so hard she could barely breathe. And that's not what you want when you're a 16-year-old embodiment of cubism, is it? So eventually Linda managed to choke out to my mom, Jyoti, you were right. Lunch tomorrow is on me. And then she left. So I'm like, Mom, what was that? My mom was like, yeah, all right. So I was trying to tell Linda, about how white you are, and she didn't believe me. And she said that if I wasn't exaggerating, she'd get the check for lunch tomorrow. So I said, Mom, were you betting with a black woman about how white I am? And she went, yeah, but at least I won. Well, that's been my time. Thank you guys so much. My name is Riva Riley.
Everyone, I am so excited to welcome our headliner for the evening. If you have attended Sky Stage Comedy Nights in the past, then you have definitely seen this performer. She is what I would call a Sky Stage regular. She was at the very first Comedy Under the Stars comedy night we ever did at Sky Stage. That was back, I think that was honestly back in 2016 2016, which is mind-boggling how many years we've been doing it, but always a crowd favorite, always glad to have her on Sky Stage shows, and I'm so excited to be able to do a virtual show with this individual as well. Please make some noise for Sandy Bernstein.
Hey, I know what you're thinking. I look like I'm going to ask you to sign a petition to save the polar bears. That's not me. I'm more like that cool aunt. You know, the one who smokes a blunt with you and treats you to lunch at Panera. Oh, I'm just kidding. I would never pay for lunch. But my nieces and nephews call me Auntie HC, but they know better than to call me asking for money, because I'm the one hitting them up. Because Aunt THC needs cash for weed. So a couple months ago when they shut down the gyms, I was devastated because I had a little thing for my Orange Theory instructor. How dare they take away my orange crush? I've been exercising at home, but I am really uncoordinated. I tried to take a Zumba class online, and I was like flailing my arms around so much that my Apple Watch thought I was having a seizure and called an ambulance. How do you think I got the medical marijuana card? So, I just celebrated a birthday. I should have been a June baby. My mom had me a couple weeks early. She thought she was having gas pains. But instead, she had a little shit. I was bald the first 2 years of my life. Yeah, my mom had to tie a pink ribbon around my big bald head just so people would know that I was a girl. Yeah, my grandfather nicknamed me the baby Khrushchev. And this was during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, in his defense, I did like to pound my shoe on the table. Now, unless you're a baby boomer or a history buff, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So just Google it. So yeah, I did just have a birthday. I turned 59. I've been menopausal though for a lot longer. Yeah, I've never been able to wear sweaters since because I am one. Yeah, but I don't miss getting my period though. That was like an unwelcome visitor who cramped my style. But you know something? I am an editor in my day job. So I do still have to worry about missing periods. Okay, well, while we're on the subject of grammar, I don't like ending sentences with exclamation points. I prefer a more nuanced approach, like writing in all caps. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, when I hear women talk about freezing their eggs, I envision mine as hard-boiled with a green ring around the yolk. What, too soon? More like too late. Listen, I am so out of it. Last time I went to a restaurant, the waiter mentioned Cash App, and I thought he was saying ketchup, because I left my Miracle Ear at home. So after making him repeat it 5 times, I finally got it. I was like, oh, you're talking about those little bowls of cashews on the table. They're like an appetizer. I get it. Cash App. How clever. Now I got to worry about old people's diseases. I was in denial about having shingles until the roofer showed up and started nailing them to my ass. So I am a lifetime Weight Watcher, and I still do go to meetings. But one of my pet peeves is when someone says, I split a dessert with the other 6 people at my table, and I was satisfied after just one bite. Really? Oh, come on now. I mean, for me, claiming to be satisfied after just one bite, it's like saying Just the tip is enough. And I'm not talking about the Cash App waiter. Or am I? Summer's upon us. I was going to Italy and Spain. That's not happening. But I hear that Texas is open wide for business. Yeah, you can even take a tour of the meat packing plants. You know what they call that? A meet and greet. I mentioned it to my husband, and he was like, nope. But I'll tell you what. We can stay right here, and I'll let you greet my meat. And then we'll rattle your shingles. So I guess this summer, I'm just going to be at home. Yeah. I plan to swelter in place. And on that note, I'm going to get out of here. But listen, I hope that one of these days I will see everybody in person at Sky Stage. Hey, I'm Sandy Bernstein. Thanks. Good night.
And that was our last performer for the evening. At this time, I want to thank all the performers that you saw for taking and submitting these videos to be featured tonight. I also want to thank you all for watching this virtual show. That's a wrap on the May 22nd Comedy Under the Stars virtual comedy night with Sky Stage. I just want to say this right now. I love Sky Stage. I love everything about Sky Stage, and I have enjoyed every single show I've ever put on there. That being said, there is so much more that Sky Stage does, even beyond comedy. They have this comedy show, they have other comedy shows, but they do even more. They have classes, they have live bands, they have art programs there. So if you want to find out more about Sky Stage, I recommend looking them up online, and I am including their web address right here in the description of this video for you to be able to find out more. I'm also including the information for the Frederick Arts Council as well. Thank you so much, Sky Stage, for your support for all local artists and for all local comedy things. Everyone, it is such a joy of mine to host comedy and to perform comedy, and I'm really looking forward to the time when we can all come together again for an in-person show whenever it is safe to do so. We typically have Comedy Under the Stars comedy nights the fourth Friday of the Sky Stage season. And until we can join you in person, we will probably put together some more virtual shows. So I encourage you to like Sky Stage on Facebook to keep up with all the information that's happening with Sky Stage right now. They're doing a lot of virtual programs there, and they're all really cool. At this time, I want to say good night to everyone. We hope that you're staying safe, staying healthy, and we will see you soon. Thanks for watching.